Well, joining me via Zoom from his home in London, please welcome editor-at-large of dailymail.com, host of Good Morning Britain, and the author of the new book, Wake Up. And I'm talking about Piers Morgan. Piers, how you doing?
I'm so happy that you're still on air through these troubled times, because I don't think America and the world has ever needed you more.
Well, thank you for that. And I agree, there's a lot to be addressed right now. And in full disclosure, I want to say to everyone, Piers and I are very good friends. I consider him to be a dear friend of mine. We also work together on another show that I executive produce, Emmy-winning show, Daily Mail TV, now in its fourth season, and Piers is good enough to do some things for us on that show. The title of your book is A Call to Action, and it's Wake Up. And I have read this book cover to cover. Congratulations on this book. It is needed. It is on target. Why do you think we need to wake up?
Because you talked about the need for all of us in this extraordinary year to get a sense of perspective, to work out what is important in life, to understand the most valuable things we have are our health, our family, our friends, our community, and to look at who has really this year, I think, shown themselves to be very important in our lives. And that's the health workers, the care workers, the store workers, the people that take our trash away, the people that got us going and kept us going through the pandemic, through the lockdown so far. The book is really a clarion call from me, predominantly at my fellow liberals, because I identify as more liberal than not, but particularly the woke crowd, as I call them. These are the ultra-liberal people, or they claim to be ultra-liberal. In fact, they're very illiberal, and they have slowly gathered momentum and power, and they've done it through a very aggressive use of social media, and they really want to dictate how all of us lead our lives. And being woke originally was a good thing. It meant that you were socially and racially aware of injustice, but it's become an excuse to basically order people how to think, what to find funny, what movies and TV shows they should like, what haircuts to have, what clothes to wear, what food to eat, whether they should drink, and if so, how much, and what they should drink. In other words, every aspect of our lives. And it's developed this huge culture war that rages 24/7, again, driven by social media, that I think is really harmful to democracy, certainly not liberal. And that's why I say, let's wake up. Let's get our priorities right again. Let's go back to what is important in life and not what a small group of very noisy people on social media tell us is important.
Well, you know, I watched this, and I've always thought about liberal, and I never talk politics here, and I'll argue each side equally, but I always thought about liberals as being very inclusive, just kind of everybody has a home here. But yet I now see this ultra left-wing group of, you call them liberal fascists, who are really a bullying crowd. And it is a small, highly vocal minority that's using social media to attack and dictate. And I think that's who you're talking about, right?
Yes, and it's very damaging, because what it means is that people are more and more afraid to express an opinion. And yet the bedrock of any democracy, whether it's in America or the UK here, is that we debate things. You know, your show has been built around having honest debate about all sorts of stuff. You and I have agreed about things, we've disagreed about things, but at the end of it, we've stayed friends and good friends, and I value that friendship. What is being lost in this woke frenzy is that ability to have different opinions, to have a friendship group where people maybe support Trump, don't support Trump, like Joe Biden, don't like Biden, you know, like vegan food, don't like vegan food, whatever it may be. You ought to be able to have honest democratic debate.
Well, hey there, thanks so much for watching. And while I have you, do you have a story or a question for me? If so, I do want to hear from you. Click on the link in the description and tell me what's going on. You just might end up right here with me on the show. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Click that little red button below. You know you want to. What are you waiting for? Do it!